Welcome to this tutorial on Agility Trader3. Feel free to pause and rewind the video at any stage if you would like to review any of the material that I'm going to discuss over the next 20 minutes or so. Before I cover the installation, just a little bit about the origin of Agility Trader3. There have been two previous versions of Agility Trader. Both of them used a Windows program as a companion to Agility Trader. This version 3 removes a lot of the restrictions that were necessarily in place for Agility Traders 1 and 2. The restrictions on the use of user indicators have been removed. Also, the restrictions on the number of conditions to be applied to the expert advisor have been removed. So I have Agility Trader 3 open at the moment. As you can see here, we have the parameters associated with the expert advisor. We have a back test that's already been run, and you'll note that the back test itself is actually contained within the expert advisor. There is no need to go to strategy tester within the MetaTrader 4 program. So here's the back test report here, an equity curve on this particular scenario. And some graphs down the bottom, 4 different graphs. There's wins, losses, long, shorts, days of the week and hours of the day. What I'm going to do is just briefly talk about the logic associated with Agility Trader 3. So what I'm going to do is just bring up a document which we can touch on, and I'm not going to get too involved at this stage with this help file, but it is available as part of the download. So what we have in Agility Trader 3 is 6 lines of conditions associated with the expert advisor. The first line contains instrument codes. Now I might add that the standard version of Agility Trader 3 only allows you to use one code. However, you can look at the multiple instrument codes just with an RSI strategy alone. It is an optional upgrade, and in your registration email that you receive, you will receive a link for the upgrade. So first line instrument codes, and you can nominate as much as around 50 codes, bearing in mind that a string of information is limited to 255 characters. So that should be enough to separate your instrument codes with a space and contain within that 255 characters roughly 50 instrument codes. And just noting that an instrument code does not necessarily have to be a Forex currency pair. It can be an index CFD, even a shared CFD, or commodities such as gold and silver. The next line are the trade parameters, and you'll have more information on this as we do the installation. You've got buy entry parameters, sell entry parameters, buy exit parameters, and sell exit parameters. Now I'm just going to scroll down a little bit in the help file, and we'll just make quick reference to the instrument codes. As you can see here is a line with the instrument codes all separated by a space. In this case we've just got 4 currency pairs. Now looking at the trade parameters, this is your trade parameters line, and in here you can see you've got a magic number seed. That is the starting seed for those 4 instrument codes we had previously. So the first instrument code would be 456200, the next one would be 201, and so on. Here we have a little symbol EQ for equity, and you'll see down in the help file that each particular option is highlighted in yellow. So this one's lot size based on equity. This is a wager increase setting. Now at the moment it's preset to a wager increase of 1, which simply means that your initial wager is unchanged with successive losses. In actual fact, you can increase your wager under Agility Trader 3 with successive gains as well. And we have here a bar limit, and that particularly relates to pending orders, the number of bars that the pending order remains open. This one here, the 15, is a trade buffer, and that relates to stop and limit buys and sells. The default time frame at 5 minutes. The default equity value for back testing your default currency. In this particular case I'm working with Australian dollars, but it could be euros, or for that matter any currency that your account is based on. This list character here relates to the scanning mode and how you are going to receive alerts. You can, normally it would be set to Lisp, however you can choose to just have audio or a pop-up message on the screen, or even an email, and your last item in the trade parameters field is the comments that are going to appear on your actual trades that are placed. We get down a little bit further down and we're looking at the buy and sell entry parameters. I won't go into detail at this stage, they are fully covered in the help file, but each particular set of entry or exit parameters for that matter are separated by an AND or an OR key code. And here are the most common one you're going to have is the AND, but there are options for OR, and you can see an OR 1 through to OR 6. The numbers after the OR simply relate to the number of conditions to be considered in the OR scenario. OR 1 simply means it's an AND joined by something else which can be the option or an alternative. OR 2 means AND but joined by the following two options. And down here we have an explanation on the conditions. The conditions basically are made up of a reference condition, a comparison, and then a nominated condition. More on this as you review the help file itself. And of course here we have a list or a table of all the parameters for the various settings that we have within the help file. So we'll just go back to the installation of the program at this stage. So we'll bring up the situation. Here is a zip file already downloaded. So what I'm going to do is, assuming that you've downloaded it to either desktop or the your downloads folder. In my particular situation, this is in a downloads folder. I'm going to click on the zip file, which will bring up a list of all the files contained within the installation file, and we're going to go ahead and extract all those files. So we'll just accept the default directory. I'll just go ahead and extract them, and here we are with the files extracted from the installation zip file. Now each one of these files goes into a particular area within your Trader3 program. We'll go ahead and select the EX4 program, which is the actual expert advisor itself. I'm going to right click on that and we'll go to copy. We'll go back to our Trader3 platform. I'm just going to move this over a little bit so we can show you everything that's contained within the installation. I'll go to File, just bring that over a little bit further so you can see it. Just bear with me for a second. I just want to make sure that within the size of the video you can see everything that's going on. Go to File, Open Data Folder. Now we need to navigate to the Experts folder, which is under MQ4. We go into Experts, and here we're just going to right click and paste in that file which we had, which is Agility Trader3, and there it is in there now. So what I'll do is I'll go back to our area where we downloaded this particular file, if I can find it. Here we are. And we're going to take out the template file. That's the one that has an extension of TPL, so I'll select that one. We'll right click and copy that particular file back to our Agility Trader3, under File, Open Data Folder, and we'll go to Templates and paste that particular file into Templates. Now it's a template called All Black, and in this particular case we have the template already in there, so I'll leave that alone for the moment. Back to where we were. Back to the install. Now there are a couple of set files which will go into the applicable folder within the Trader3, so I'll select that one and that one, these being two example set files. So we'll copy and paste those. We'll go to copy, and we'll go into the MQ4 again, and I'm sorry, we'll into presets. So we'll put those two template files into there, and those two template files. I do have some other template files there, but that's where those particular files go. We'll just navigate back a little bit for that one. And finally the help file, which is this particular one here, the PDF help file. So we'll copy that. Now look, that particular one I would suggest that you probably put it into documents as an easy reference. So we'll select the documents folder and we'll just paste that into the documents. I'm just going to replace the file that's already there. Now we'll go back to MetaTrader 4 at this stage, and I'm going to have to just do a little bit of housekeeping here to take this out to full screen. Once again, as I mentioned earlier, I do have the size of the screen real estate set to accomplish a reasonable help video for you, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the Expert Advisor that I do have running, and you'll notice that I have an all black screen. So let's just put in another template just to show you what the how this template is organized. So the first thing we need to do is to, before you load the Agility Trader 3 Expert Advisor, is to go and set the template to the all black template which you have put into your templates file. So if you right click on your chart area, go to templates, that all black template should be there. Now when you select that, it takes the current chart that is being viewed on MetaTrader 4 and it applies an all black scenario, and all that has happened is simply everything has been turned to color black. Now one thing I do need to stress is that when you are running Agility Trader 3, you need to maximize the chart to the full size of your screen. Now the reason for that is there is quite a good deal of information displayed on the screen, and if you're going to use a screen with a chart at a normal size, you will not be able to display all the information contained within Agility Trader 3. So at this stage, what I'm going to do is we'll just make that navigator window just a little bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to select Agility. First of all, what you should do is refresh your Expert Advisors, because having loaded that in with MetaTrader 4 already running, it will not appear in your list of Expert Advisors. So we go ahead and refresh. Now you will see Agility Trader 3 in your list of Expert Advisors. So we're going to go ahead and drag Agility Trader 3 onto this all black chart template. So I'm dragging it on there. At this stage we won't go through the inputs, we're just going to accept the default inputs. We'll click on OK, and you can see that we now have Agility Trader 3 showing as a panel on the chart with the black template. Just going to move this over a little bit because I want to show you all the features, and I need a little bit more real estate for Agility Trader 3 once we get it running. So I'll just take that out again and reload it so that we can see the full set of information. Once again, this is simply to keep the video to a reasonable size. So here we are with Agility Trader 3 loaded. We have 4 buttons across the top. I don't know if any of you have looked at the variable range breakout thread, but there was a preview of Agility Trader 3 in presentation with the variable range breakout Expert Advisor. Now once again, you can notice in this particular one, before we do anything, I only have one instrument code, and that is the Euro USD. As I said, the standard version allows you to use only one instrument code. You can, however, as a preview to the upgrade, use multiple instrument codes with only the RSI strategy. So At this stage, I'm just going to perform a back test to show you a little bit of the information contained within Agility Trader 3. So I'll go ahead and click the back test button, and you can see now that what has happened is that this expert advisor has done a back test using information contained in your MetaTrader 4 broker's data source. So it has automatically displayed the last 3 months of testing on this particular strategy. It's a very simple strategy. It's simply an RSI strategy with an 8-period parameter and a simple stop loss of 30 and a take profit of 30. Look, I'm sorry about the bells in the background. This is simply a bit of a problem with my internet connection, and the MetaTrader 4 is losing and regaining connection. So back to the discussion on the expert advisor. Having done this back test, we have an equity curve and a summary of the back test over here, and this is simply a report on everything that is the result of that back test. So we have profit of 24, maximum drawdown of 0.11%, wins of 197, losses of 170, and this is a non-optimized expert advisor, might add. Longs of 16, shorts of 40, and of course we have the wins and losses over here. Over here is a graph of the breakdown by days of the week, and also a breakdown by hours of day. Now, as a result of doing this back test, we do have a couple of extra buttons over here. We have the ability to write a set file from the actual expert advisor itself. So if I was to click on write set file, we have a drop down where it's the name of the file is prefixed with Agility Trader 3, then an underscore and a name, whatever you want to give this particular set file. If you had not saved a set file but you wanted to save this set file, you just give it a name and click on OK. We won't bother with that at the moment. I'll just click on cancel. And there's an option here to actually show the trades that have taken place in gaining this particular result. So if we click on show trades, you can see that all the trades are listed down below. Now you can only show 10 trades at a time, but you do have a page down and a page up. So if we click on page down, we show the next 10 trades and so on. To go back to our equity curve, we just click on equity curve up the top. I'll just quickly run through and optimize. Now, you may need to pause the video at this stage to just reflect on some of the factors that I'm going to talk about with optimize. If you look very carefully, you can see that some of these parameters within the display parameters have a little number after them, and if you look at RSI, you can see that there's 8 periods and the little A after the 8 periods. And similarly, on the sell entry parameters, you've got an A after the 8 periods in the sell entry parameters. Now, the reason that they're both A is that when we optimize, we want to treat both these values as the same optimization number. So that's why we have the 2 A's there. And similarly, if we get down to the exit strategy, we have a stop loss of 30 with a B beside it, and sell exit with a stop loss of 30 as well. So that simply means that those two are optimized in conjunction with each other. And we also have a C under the take profit conditions. So you've got a 30 C's. That simply means a take profit for a nominated value, NV is nominated value of 30, and a C after it. So if we were to go ahead and optimize now, we're going to optimize 3 sets of numbers. We've got the number of periods for the RSI, the nominated value of 30 for the stop losses, and nominated value of 30 for the take profits. So I'm going to go ahead and optimize this, and by all means I'm not suggesting this on its own is a profitable strategy. It's just there as a simple example. We go and click the optimize button, and you can see here that as we're optimizing, the percentage completed is showing. So this shows you basically how things are going. So here we're basically running all those figures, all the parameters. We had 3 sets of parameters, the A, B and C parameters, all being tested for various numbers. Now, This is a fairly fast optimization. It is an intelligent optimization which will cut down the amount of time taken to do the optimization. And look, this is a small problem which I will fix in the final release. It's just going to go up to 150%, but I do know that the problem there will be 100% for you people. When it's finished, the optimization, now you can see this has gone through twice, and the reason for that is when you click on one of these buttons, if you leave your little arrow over the top of the button, you will run into a problem with optimization. So just move your button, your mouse arrow away from the button when you click on optimize. Now when this is finished, it will show you the result automatically of the best optimization. We're not going to necessarily take that as the best optimization, but you'll see that we're just approaching the 150 this time. It automatically highlights the best optimization. So see here we have a gain of 89 pips, and that particular optimization is highlighted in red. You can select any particular optimization you like. Now, if we were to select, for instance, this gain of 51, you can see that we've got a different curve displayed and we have different parameters. In this particular case, there's a drawdown of 0.22% and the matching parameters are 6 for the RSI, which is automatically added to your list up the top, 57 for a stop loss and 34 for a take profit. In actual fact, it is indicating for us that the best optimization, which a low drawdown, was 13 periods for the RSI, a 57 stop loss and a 34 take profit. So once again we have the information there. The ability, as I said, to write the results of that particular optimization to a set file, and the option to show the trades. I think at this stage that's enough for the introductory video. I do intend to do a further videos. Probably the next one will be on user indicators. Now, the user indicator concept came about in Agility Trader version 1, where a particular contributor to the thread suggested that it would be good if we could use our own particular strategies rather than the preset strategies that I've factored into Agility Trader. Now, at the moment, there are roughly 35 to 40 particular strategies that you can call upon within Agility Trader 3. Now they range from the standard standard strategies such as RSI, MACD, etc., right through to considering pivot points. You can consider Fibonacci, support and resistance points, candlestick recognition. All these are built into Agility Trader 3. But you may have an interest, for instance, in the non-lag dot indicator, which is quite popular at the moment, and you can factor these things through what's called a user indicator. Now, the user indicator is specified simply by, instead of putting here where we have RSI, you enclose in single quotes the name of the indicator that you wish to use. And in association with the name of that indicator, you will be specifying the buffer number that you wish to read and also any input parameters that you are going to use. Now, within this 255 character string, you can specify a number of buffers within the one indicator. Now, within Agility Trader 2, there was a restriction of a maximum of 5 buffers. Within Agility Trader 3, those restrictions are removed. So that'll conclude this video. I look forward to your comments on the thread. It's a fairly sophisticated expert advisor, but in conjunction with the level of detail, it gives you absolutely incredible options for going ahead and exploring your own trading ideas. Look, the thing about auto trading is there is no holy grail. It is simply a matter of particularly sound money management factors in association with a robust strategy. And for those of you who followed me on Agility Trader 2, you will realise that I have discussed in detail how to become profitable in trading. Now, in my own situation, probably as with the majority of you, I started out making mistakes, but over the last approximately 20 years of Forex trading, I've honed my skills, and it is no secret that I say to most of my subscribers that the key to profitability in trading is a particularly sound set of money management parameters, and we will discuss this in future videos and no doubt through the thread. And I will be making reference to some of my previous posts within Agility Trader 2. I do intend to start a new thread for Agility Trader 3, and I look forward to your input. Thank you for your participation, and I look forward to the next video on user indicators.